Welcome or welcome back to my channel. This is Brooklyn Watson, and it's been a while since we've connected, mostly because YouTube is just such hard work, and I wanted to make sure I was delivering and creating content that has value instead of chasing the algorithm. And I think, especially when you're new to YouTube and you're trying to find your footing, you can find yourself getting lost in space, in the internet space or the YouTube space. So I kind of had to scale back and think about, like, all right, what types of content in my niche do I want to bring to you all that has value? And without further ado, we're here to talk about today, why aren't people getting dressed anymore? No shade, no judgment, but think about, when was the last time you really got dressed? And I think my fashion girlies, my sophisticated people, my people who believe in time and place, you're probably gonna be like, well, I was just dressed for this thing yesterday or this week or whatever. But I don't mean like tossing on sweatpants or pulling together a look the way people used to. I mean, everywhere you go today, it kind of feels like people just stop getting dressed. So in this video, we're gonna dive into how the pandemic, designers, and culture shaped the not getting dressed trend, if we can call it that, and maybe make some predictions on what it means for fashion going forward. Not too far in our distant memories and history, getting dressed was almost like a ritual. Suits, heels, polished dresses. It was the power look. It mattered. I remember when I was a really young girl and I'd be out, maybe going to school on the subway, and I'd see all the women in their beautiful suits and their powerful looks, and they had on the the tube socks with the tennis shoes or sneakers. I loved that look. I loved everything about it. I was like, wow, this is like, I gotta get to the office, but when I get there, I'm throwing these heels on. That's what it gave. And the power look mattered. Think about Donna Karan's 7 easy pieces that came out in the 1980s. Women literally built their identities through fashion. Even in the 2000s, brands like Ralph Lauren or Armani embodied a polished, aspirational lifestyle. It's what you want it to look like, because it sold not only garments, but it sold a life that people wanted to live. So you weren't just wearing clothes, you were pretending, or not pretending, you weren't just wearing clothes, you were presenting who you are. Even growing up, like, I grew up in a West Indian household, a Jamaican household, and my mom always told me the way you represent yourself in the world, in terms of the way you dress, the way you behave, the way you conduct yourself, is a representation of your family and the home that you come from. Then came the rise of comfort. During the comfort revolution, athleisure and streetwear blurred the lines between gym clothes and real clothes. Brands like Lululemon, Nike, and Adidas made leggings and sneakers everyday wear. At the luxury level, Balenciaga turned hoodies and chunky sneakers into high fashion, and suddenly comfort wasn't sloppy, it was aspirational. And I would even throw Yeezy in the mix with his utility style. Let's make luxury casual branding of the fashion line. And even labels that were known for being more polished, like Gucci, leaned into sneakers and relaxed tailoring. The message was that you can be stylish without trying too hard. Getting into the pandemic effect. The pandemic didn't just nudge this shift, it exploded it. It exploded the not getting dressed trend. The Zoom trend of business on top, pajamas, sweatpants, underwear on bottom, in the worst way, became an iconic look. So during lockdown, Skims took off, selling loungewear, cozy basics. Meanwhile, Free People and Aritzia pushed matching sets, and suddenly the uniform became sweats and pastels or neutrals, or the 3-piece sets with the robe, the top, and the bottom. So after 2 years of that, because that's what we endured 2 years of that, going back to hard pants felt unnecessary, and honestly, many people never did. And I think if there was any lesson I learned during that time of stillness, was to still find ways to be active. I think so many people got themselves and for a lot of reasons why that made sense, but a lot of people got themselves into a space where doing nothing, staying inside, it kind of became the norm, Whereas like I was very active. I still went out. I had the option to work from home, but I chose not to. I still went out. I still kept my life as normal as it possible before all of that stuff happened. And I think the benefit of that was that in the aftermath of things, I still was able to function the way I did before. And maybe that's a blessing, and I give thanks for that. But for the most part, I wasn't, in a sense, I don't want to use the word crippled, but I wasn't stuck because the world became stuck. And I think that's kind of what happened. People just became stuck. And I know there's a million reasons why, but in the theme of getting dressed, I think a part of that was like people didn't feel the need to like go anywhere and do anything. And so why get dressed? But I do think sometimes even the idea of getting dressed speaks to a larger theme about our mental health, and we'll get into that a little bit later in this video. So thinking about value shifting, beyond comfort, fashion values themselves have changed. People care less about dressing up for others and more about dressing for themselves, as you should. On Instagram, TikTok, and all different social media platforms, you can post a perfectly curated outfit for the algorithm, but in real life, people are wearing Crocs, Uggs, oversized t-shirts like what I would have been last night, and the duality has become the norm. There's also sustainability. So instead of fast fashion hauls, younger consumers are drawn to capsule wardrobes, neutral blazers from Everlane, simple dresses from Reformation, and even thrifting as a badge of honor. I'm not a thrifter. I just don't like the idea of other people's energy on my body, but to each their own. You love thrifting, do you, go for it. Luxury brands are also catching on as well. The Row, for example, built an empire on quiet luxury, where the fit and fabric mattered more than the flesh. Even Ralph Lauren shifted from relaxed American classics instead of just formal wear, which is what Ralph Lauren was originally known for. So getting back to the psychological side of dressing up, there is a psychological layer to not necessarily what you wear, but how you compose your look and put together your look, and that's the idea that you're getting dressed. So as we know, a part of a mental health status examination is how they screen for depression or maybe manic diagnoses that fall within the realms of mania or those types of mood disorders. They will assess for the way that person presents themselves. Like, how do they look? Do they look disheveled? Do they look put together? Do they, in terms of hygiene, are they taking showers? Are they getting dressed? So there is a psychological side and layer to just putting on clothes. And after the pandemic, so many people simply didn't have the energy or the will to put effort into their daily looks or their daily outfits. Fashion at that point became about conserving energy and not spending it. And ironically, this created a new uniform. The hoodie, joggers, sneakers, Crocs, pajamas, like barely just putting on anything. Whether it's Uniqlo basics or oversized hoodies from a luxury brand, we've all agreed on a new casual code. Or some of y'all have agreed to a new casual code. But not everyone loves this. Critics say we've lost the art of dressing. Where's the excitement, the glamour, the creativity of daily style? Think about when people went out in the 90s in the Prada slip dress, which was very popular, or when Carrie Bradshaw wore Manolos just to run errands in the HBO series. Fashion used to be about turning the everyday into an event. Now with sweats everywhere, many people feel that magic has been lost. So why aren't people getting dressed anymore? It's comfort, pandemic habits, shifting values, and even psychology. Maybe it isn't the death of fashion, maybe it's just fashion evolving, and people are kind of wanting and waiting to see what's next. Designers from Skims to the Row are showing that comfort and style can coexist, and maybe, just maybe, the next era of fashion will bring back intention in a way that feels modern and not forced. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you miss dressing up, or are you living this comfort first culture? Now drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into fashion and culture. And with that, I'm out, and thank you so much for being here. See you next time. Ciao.